Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the UES Discovery, watching the strange alien ship grow larger on the main screen. After 3 years of traveling through space, they had finally found what they were looking for. The ship was unlike anything humans had ever built. It looked like a giant crystal flower with silver petals that moved slowly in the darkness of space. "Captain, they're sending us a message," said Lieutenant Danny Roberts from his position at the communications desk. His voice was excited, but nervous. This was the moment every human had dreamed about since they first looked up at the stars. Jake nodded and straightened his uniform. "Put it through, Danny." The screen flickered and showed something that made everyone on the bridge hold their breath. The alien was tall and thin, with 4 arms and skin that looked like polished metal. Its eyes were huge and bright blue, and when it spoke, the words came through their translation computer in perfect English. "Greetings, unknown vessel. I am Chancellor Krikstal of the Galactic Council. We have been waiting for you to contact us. Please follow our ship to the nearest council station." Jake felt his heart beating fast. This was really happening. Humans were not alone in the universe. "This is Captain Jake Morrison of the United Earthship Discovery. We come in peace and friendship. We would be honored to meet with your council." The alien's face changed slightly. Jake couldn't tell if it was smiling or frowning. "Yes, we know who you are. We know what you are. Please follow us." The communication ended, and the alien ship began to move. Jake gave orders to follow it, and soon they were traveling toward a massive space station that appeared out of nowhere. The station was so big it could have held 1,000,000 ships like the Discovery. Dr. Amanda Brooks came to the bridge carrying her tablet computer. She was the ship's expert on alien life, even though she had never seen a real alien before today. "Captain, I've been studying their ship with our sensors. Their technology is incredible. They're using power sources we don't even understand." Ambassador Lisa Carter joined them. She was supposed to speak for all of humanity when they met the aliens. "I've been preparing for this moment my whole life," she said. "What should we expect?" Jake watched the space station getting closer. "I don't know, but we need to be careful. They knew we were coming, which means they've been watching us." When the Discovery docked at the station, Jake, Lisa, and Amanda put on their best uniforms and prepared to meet the aliens. The airlock opened and they stepped into a world unlike anything they had ever seen. The station was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. The walls seemed to be made of living light, and strange music played in the air around them. Dozens of different alien species walked through the corridors. Some looked like giant insects, others like walking plants, and some were just floating balls of energy. Chancellor Krikstal met them in a large room filled with other alien leaders. Jake counted 12 different species, all watching the humans with intense interest. "Welcome to Council Station Alpha," Krikstal said. "You are the first humans to visit our space. We have much to discuss." Lisa stepped forward. "We're grateful for this opportunity. Humanity hopes to join the galactic community and learn from your wisdom." Several aliens made sounds that the translator couldn't understand. They seemed upset about something. "Yes?" said a creature that looked like a giant spider with crystal legs. "We need to learn about you as well. Please submit to our biological scanners. It is standard procedure for all new species." Amanda looked at Jake, who nodded. They had expected this. The scanner was a small device that looked like a silver wand. It passed over each human, collecting information about their bodies and minds. When the scanning was complete, the aliens gathered around their computers. Jake watched their faces change as they read the results. Fear. That's what he saw in their eyes. Pure fear. The spider creature dropped its scanner and backed away from the humans. "This cannot be correct. Run the scan again." "The readings are accurate," Krikstal said, his voice much colder than before. "They are exactly what the ancient records warned us about." Lisa looked confused. "I don't understand. Is something wrong?" A new alien spoke up. This one looked like a tall, thin tree with eyes. "Wrong? You ask if something is wrong. You are walking disasters. Your species should not exist." Jake felt anger rising in his chest. "What are you talking about? We came here in peace. Peace? The tree alien laughed, a sound like breaking branches. Your scan results show that you are persistence hunters. Your brains are designed for pack hunting. You have the ability to work together and fight together better than any species we have ever seen. Amanda stepped forward. Those traits helped us survive on our planet. They made us strong. Strong? Crixtal's forearms were shaking. You don't understand. You are apex predators. But worse than that, you are adaptable apex predators. You can live anywhere, eat anything, and turn any situation to your advantage. Another alien, this one covered in fur with 6 legs, joined the conversation. Your species shows signs of extreme technological advancement. In just a few thousand years, you went from using stone tools to building starships. That level of progress is dangerous. Jake was getting angry now. Dangerous to who? We haven't hurt anyone. We haven't even left our own solar system until now. Yet, said the spider creature, you haven't hurt anyone yet, but you will. It's in your nature. Your psychological profiles show that you actually become stronger during conflict. Most species avoid war because it hurts them. You humans become more creative, more united, and more dangerous when you fight. The room became very quiet. All the aliens were staring at the humans like they were looking at monsters. Lisa tried to keep her voice calm. We understand your concerns, but we can control our nature. Humans have learned to live in peace. We haven't had a major war in over 50 years. 50 years, Crixtal repeated. For us, 50 years is barely a moment. Our species have been peaceful for thousands of years, but your peace is just preparation for your next war. Amanda was reading something on her tablet. Captain, they're right about our adaptation rate. According to their data, it takes most species millions of years to develop space travel. We did it in just a few thousand. The tree alien pointed at Amanda. See? Even now, she adapts. She learns from our information and uses it to understand us better. This is exactly what makes you so dangerous. Jake realized that this meeting was not going the way they had hoped. What do you want from us? Crixtal looked at the other alien leaders. They seemed to be communicating without words. Finally, he turned back to the humans. The Galactic Council has made a decision. Humanity represents a Class X extinction threat to all life in the galaxy. You must be contained. Contained? Lisa asked. Your solar system will be quarantined. No human ship will be allowed to leave. No alien ship will be allowed to enter. You will remain on your worlds until we decide what to do with you. Jake felt. His blood turned cold. And if we refuse? The spider creature's eyes glowed brighter. Then we will implement the Purge Protocol. Your species will be eliminated before you can spread your violence to the rest of the galaxy. Guards appeared from nowhere, surrounding the 3 humans. Jake reached for his weapon, but Amanda grabbed his arm. Don't, she whispered. We need to stay alive to warn Earth. As they were taken to holding cells deep in the station, Jake could hear the aliens talking about something called the Purge Protocol. He didn't know what it meant, but he knew it couldn't be good. In his cell, Jake stared out at the stars and thought about Earth. His home planet had no idea that first contact had gone wrong. No idea that the galaxy saw them as monsters. No idea that their very existence was now considered a threat that had to be stopped. The worst part was that Jake was beginning to understand why the aliens were afraid. Humans were different. They were dangerous in ways that most species couldn't imagine. But being dangerous didn't make them evil. Now he had to find a way to escape and warn Earth before it was too late. Colonel Ryan Martinez was drinking his morning coffee when the alarm started screaming at Earth Defense Command. He dropped his cup and ran to the main control room where dozens of people were staring at their screens with shocked faces. What's happening? Ryan asked Lieutenant Sarah Johnson, who was sitting at the sensor station. Sir, we're picking up massive readings at the edge of our solar system. Ships, lots of them. Ryan looked at the main screen and felt his stomach drop. Hundreds of red dots were appearing on the display, then thousands. Ships were coming out of something that looked like holes in space itself. How many? Ryan asked, though he was afraid to hear the answer. 3,000, sir. Maybe more. They're still coming. Admiral Patricia Hayes walked into the command center. She was the leader of Earth's entire space fleet. Her face was calm, but Ryan could see worry in her eyes. Status. Report, she ordered. Sarah turned to face her. Admiral, we count over 3,000 alien vessels taking positions around our solar system. They've formed a complete blockade. Nothing can get in or out. Patricia studied the screen. Earth's fleet had only 200 ships, and most of them were designed for exploration, not fighting. Any communication from them? Yes, ma'am, message coming in now. The main screen changed to show the alien they had seen on news reports from the Discovery mission 6 months ago. Chancellor Krixtal looked even more frightening than before. People of Earth, the alien said. I am Chancellor Krixtal of the Galactic Council. Your species has been classified as a Class X extinction threat. We cannot allow you to spread beyond your solar system. Ryan felt anger building inside him. Extinction threat? We haven't done anything wrong. Krixtal continued, speaking. You have two choices. Submit to genetic pacification, which will remove your aggressive tendencies and make you peaceful like other civilized species, or face complete elimination. You have 24 hours to decide. The message ended, leaving the command center in shocked silence. Dr. Kevin Turner, Earth's top military strategist, was the first to speak. Genetic pacification means they want to change our DNA, turn us into something we're not. And elimination means they want to kill us all, Patricia said quietly. Ryan looked around the room at all the worried faces. What do we know about their weapons? Kevin pulled up files on his computer. Based on the Discovery's sensor readings before contact was lost, their technology is far beyond ours. They have energy weapons that can destroy entire cities, shields that can stop anything we can throw at them, and ships that are bigger and faster than ours. Then how do we fight them? Asked Sarah. Patricia walked to the big map, showing their solar system. We can't fight them the way they expect us to fight. We need to be smart. On the alien flagship, Jake Morrison sat in his prison cell and listened to the guards talking. He had learned some of their language over the past 6 months. What he heard made his blood run cold. The humans will refuse, one guard was saying. They're too proud to accept pacification. Then we implement the purge protocol, replied another. It's for the best. The galaxy will be safer. Jake looked across the cell block at Lisa Carter and Amanda Brooks. They were in cells nearby and he could see the fear in their eyes. We have to warn Earth, Lisa whispered. How? Amanda replied. We're locked up on an alien ship in the middle of space. Jake had been working on that problem for months. The alien technology was advanced, but it had weaknesses. They relied too much on computers and not enough on simple mechanical systems. I have an idea, but it's dangerous. That night, when most of the alien crew was sleeping, Jake put his plan into action. He had noticed that the cell doors used electronic locks that were connected to the ship's main computer. But there was also a manual release hidden behind a panel, probably for emergencies. Using a piece of metal he had pulled from his bed frame, Jake worked on opening the panel. It took hours of careful work, but finally, he heard a click. The cell door slid open. He quickly freed Lisa and Amanda, and together they made their way through the dark corridors of the alien ship. Jake had memorized the layout during their walks to the interrogation rooms. Where are we going? Amanda whispered. The shuttle bay, Jake replied. I saw some small ships there. If we can steal one, we might be able to reach Earth and warn them. They moved carefully through the ship, hiding whenever they heard footsteps. The aliens didn't seem to expect prisoners to escape, so there weren't many guards. When they reached the shuttle bay, Jake's heart sank. The ships were surrounded by energy barriers. Now what? Lisa asked. Amanda was studying one of the control panels. These barriers are controlled by the same computer system as our cells. If we can overload it somehow. She started working on the panel while Jake and Lisa kept watch. Suddenly, alarms started ringing throughout the ship. They know. We're gone, Jake said. Hurry, Amanda. Almost got it, she replied, her fingers flying over the alien controls. There. The energy barriers disappeared, and they ran toward the nearest shuttle. It was small but looked fast. Jake hoped it would be enough. As they climbed aboard, alien guards burst into the shuttle bay. Energy blasts flew past them as Jake worked to start the ship's engines. "I don't know how to fly this thing," he shouted over the noise. "The controls are similar to our ship's," Lisa said, taking the pilot's seat. "I think I can figure it out." The shuttle lifted off just as more guards arrived. They flew out of the alien ship and into space with enemy fighters chasing them. "They're faster than us," Amanda said, watching the enemy ships getting closer. Lisa pushed the shuttle to its limits, dodging energy blasts and trying to reach Earth. But the alien fighters were catching up. "There," Jake pointed at something ahead. "The moon. If we can reach the lunar base, maybe we can get word to Earth." The chase continued through space, with the shuttle weaving between chunks of rock and ice. The alien fighters were better armed, but the humans were more desperate. As they approached the moon, one of the alien energy blasts hit their engines. The shuttle started spinning out of control. "We're going to crash," Lisa said, fighting with the controls. "At least we'll crash on human territory," Jake replied. The shuttle hit the moon's surface hard, bouncing and sliding across the rocky ground before finally stopping. Jake's head was bleeding, and Amanda's arm was broken, but they were alive. "The HFY communication array," Lisa said, pointing to a structure in the distance. "If we can reach it, we can warn Earth." They climbed out of the wrecked shuttle and started walking across the moon's surface in their emergency suits. Behind them, the alien fighters circled like hungry wolves, but they didn't land. Maybe they were afraid of human territory, or maybe they thought the humans would die on the moon anyway. As they walked, Jake looked back at Earth, hanging in the black sky like a blue and white jewel. Somewhere up there, thousands of alien ships were waiting to destroy his home planet. "We have to make it," he said. "Earth needs to know what's coming." The communication station was still 2 miles away, and Jake could see more alien ships arriving, in Earth's orbit. The 24-hour deadline was almost up, and he knew what Earth's answer would be. Humans didn't surrender. They never had, and they never would. The war was about to begin. Admiral Patricia Hayes stood on the bridge of the UES Defender, watching the alien fleet spread across space like a dark cloud. The 24-hour deadline had passed, and Earth had given their answer. They would not surrender. "All ships, this is Admiral Hayes," she spoke into her communication device. "Remember what we learned in the academy. When facing a stronger enemy, don't fight their battle. Make them fight yours." Captain Danny Roberts commanded a small destroyer called the UES Lightning. His ship was one of the fastest in the human fleet. "Admiral, my wolf pack is ready to begin hit-and-run attacks." "Good. Stay mobile, Danny. Hit them hard and disappear before they can respond." The first alien attack came like thunder. Massive energy beams shot from the alien ships toward Earth's defensive positions. The human shields held for a few seconds, then exploded in brilliant flashes of light. "We lost the Mars station," reported Lieutenant Sarah Johnson from her position at the sensor controls. "And the Jupiter mining base is gone too." Patricia watched half of her outer defenses disappear in minutes. The alien weapons were more powerful than anything humans had ever seen. But she had expected this. "Phase 2, she ordered. "All ships, scatter formation. Begin guerrilla attacks." Danny Roberts led his group of 6 destroyers toward the alien left flank. They moved fast and low, using the asteroid belt as cover. When they got close enough, they fired everything they had at the nearest alien ship. The alien vessel was huge, like a floating city. Danny's weapons barely scratched its shields, but that wasn't the point. "All ships, pull back now," Danny ordered. As his ships turned to run, the aliens chased them into the asteroid field. "They're following us," said his weapons officer, Lieutenant Bobby Clark. "Good," Danny replied. "Helen, are you ready?" Commander Helen White was waiting in her stealth ship behind a large asteroid. When the alien ships passed her position, she activated her cyber weapons. These were computer viruses designed to attack alien technology. The lead alien ship suddenly stopped moving. Its weapons powered down, and its shields flickered. "Now, Bobby," Danny shouted. Bobby Clark pushed his destroyer to maximum speed and flew straight at the disabled alien ship. At the last second, he hit the eject button, shooting himself clear in an escape pod. His ship smashed into the alien vessel, and both exploded in a massive fireball. The other alien ship stopped chasing and pulled back, confused by what had just happened. On Earth, General Chris Taylor was preparing for the worst. The aliens had landed ground forces in 12 major cities, but these weren't the massive invasion armies that humans expected. The alien soldiers were small groups with advanced weapons, expecting humans to surrender quickly. They were wrong. All civilians are to move to the underground shelters, Chris ordered. Every soldier, every police officer, every person who can hold a weapon needs to report to their local commander. In New York City, Sergeant Lucy Morgan led her squad through the ruined streets. The aliens had destroyed most of the tall buildings with their first attack, but humans were still fighting from the rubble. There, Lucy pointed to a group of alien soldiers moving down the street. They looked like giant insects wearing metal armor. Wait for them to get closer. The aliens moved carefully, scanning with their advanced sensors. They could detect most weapons, but they couldn't detect human determination. When the aliens reached the middle of the street, Lucy's squad attacked from all sides. They used simple weapons that the aliens had not expected. Explosives hidden in trash cans, sniper rifles firing from windows, and close combat weapons for when the aliens got too close. The alien soldiers fought back with energy weapons that could cut through steel. But they had never faced an enemy that refused to stay down. When one human fell, two more took their place. These creatures are insane, one alien said to another, not knowing that Lucy could understand their language through her translator. They fight even when they know they cannot win, the other replied. Lucy smiled grimly. The aliens were starting to understand what they were facing. Back in space, Admiral Patricia was watching the battle reports. Earth was losing, but not as fast as the aliens had expected. Admiral, we're getting a signal from the lunar surface, Sarah reported. It's Captain Morrison. Patricia's heart jumped. Jake Morrison had been missing for 6 months. Put him through. Jake's voice came through the speakers, weak but clear. Admiral, this is Morrison. I'm at Lunar Station 3 with Ambassador Carter and Dr. Brooks. We have critical information about the enemy. Jake, thank God you're alive. What do you know? They're afraid of us, Admiral. Really afraid. They think we're some kind of monster species that will destroy the galaxy. But they have weaknesses. They rely too much on their technology and not enough on simple tactics. Amanda Brooks took over the communication. Admiral, I've been studying their battle patterns. They fight like a machine. Everything is planned and organized. They don't know how to handle chaos. Patricia understood immediately. So we give them chaos. She opened communication to all human ships. All commanders, new orders. Forget everything you learned about proper space combat. Fight dirty. Fight crazy. Make them think we're all insane. Captain Mary Wilson commanded a cargo ship that had been turned into a fighting vessel. When she heard the Admiral's orders, she smiled. You heard her, people. Let's show these aliens what humans do when we're angry. Mary flew her ship straight at the largest alien vessel, ignoring all the energy blasts flying around her. At the last second, she ejected all her cargo containers. But these containers weren't filled with supplies. They were filled with explosives. The alien ship tried to shoot down the containers, but there were too many of them. They exploded against the alien shields like fireworks, creating a light show that blinded the alien sensors. While the aliens were confused, other human ships attacked from different directions. They didn't try to fight fair. They rammed damaged alien ships, used their own ships as missiles, and fought with a desperation that shocked their enemies. The aliens had been in space for thousands of years. They had fought many wars and always won through superior technology and careful planning, but they had never fought anything like humans. Report, demanded Chancellor Krickstahl from his flagship. The humans are not fighting according to any recognized battle pattern, his military commander replied. They sacrifice their own ships to damage ours. They use their wounded vessels as weapons. They seem to become more dangerous when they are losing. Krickstahl felt fear growing in his chest. The humans were doing exactly what the ancient records had warned about. They thrived in chaos. They became stronger when facing impossible odds. On Earth, The battle for the cities continued. The aliens had better weapons and armor, but humans knew their own planet better than anyone. In London, civilians led alien soldiers into subway tunnels and then collapsed the tunnels on top of them. In Tokyo, humans used the city's complex train system to move troops quickly from one battle to another. In Cairo, fighters hid in ancient tombs that alien sensors couldn't penetrate. General Chris Taylor watched the reports coming in from around the world. Humanity was losing millions of people, but they were also learning how to fight the aliens. "Sir," his aide reported, "the aliens are requesting communication with our leadership." Chris smiled. After only 6 hours of fighting, the aliens wanted to talk. "Tell them we're too busy to chat right now." Back in space, Admiral Patricia was preparing her final gambit. She had been saving her best ships for this moment. "All remaining vessels, form up on my position," she ordered. "We're going to break their blockade." Danny Roberts, his ship badly damaged but still fighting, moved into formation. "Admiral, we've lost over half our fleet." "I know, Danny. But look at them." On the screen, the alien fleet was pulling back into a defensive formation. They were no longer attacking aggressively. They were afraid. "Helen, are your cyber weapons ready?" Patricia asked. "Yes, Admiral. If we can get close enough to their command ship, I can shut down their entire fleet for maybe 10 minutes. 10 minutes is all we need. All ships full attack. Target the flagship." The remaining human ships charged toward the center of the alien fleet. Energy blasts lit up space like deadly fireworks. Ships exploded on both sides. But the humans kept coming. When they got close enough, Helen White unleashed every cyber weapon she had. The alien flagship systems began shutting down one by one. In those 10 minutes of chaos, the human fleet broke through the alien blockade. They scattered into space, some heading for the outer planets, others disappearing into deep space. Aliens had won the battle, but they had not destroyed humanity. And now they knew that humans were everything they had feared and more. Patricia's ship was one of the last to escape. As she looked back at Earth, burning but still fighting, she made a promise. The aliens wanted a war. Now they were going to get one. 6 months after the battle for Seoul, Captain Nicole Davis stood on the bridge of the UES Vengeance watching an alien world burn below them. The planet had been a Council military base, but now it belonged to the Free Worlds Alliance. "Status. Report," Nicole asked her crew. "The orbital defense stations are destroyed," reported Lieutenant Mike Foster. "Ground forces are requesting permission to land and help the local population." Nicole nodded. The humans had learned something important during their war against the Council. Most alien species didn't want to fight. They had been forced to serve. The Council for thousands of years. Permission granted. Tell Commander Tony Wilson to set up refugee centers for anyone who wants to join the Alliance. 3 star systems away, Admiral Patricia Hayes was meeting with leaders from 6 different alien species. Her flagship, the UES Liberty, floated in space surrounded by ships from worlds that had joined the human cause. "The Council fleet is gathering at their home system," said Ambassador Lisa Carter, who had become the chief diplomat for the Alliance. "Our spies report they have over 5,000 ships there." A tall alien with blue skin and 4 eyes spoke up. "Admiral Hayes, my people have fought the Council for centuries, but we never had hope until the humans came. You showed us that the Council can be beaten." Patricia looked around the room at all the different species. Humans had been called monsters by the Council, but these aliens saw them as heroes. "The Council made one big mistake," Patricia said. "They thought fear was stronger than hope. They were wrong." Back on the Council homeworld, Chancellor Crickstall stood in his war room, staring at a map of the galaxy. Red dots showed where human forces had won battles. There were too many red dots. "How is this possible?" he asked his military commander. "We have better ships, better weapons, better technology. How are these primitive humans defeating us?" The commander, a spider-like creature with crystal legs, clicked nervously. "Chancellor, the humans don't fight like other species. They adapt to every situation. When we destroy their ships, they build new ones with our own technology. When we attack their planets, the populations rise up against us. And worst of all, other species are joining them. Krixtal felt anger and fear fighting in his chest. The humans are doing exactly what the ancient records said they would do. They're turning the galaxy against us. Sir, there's something else. Our scientists have been studying human behavior. They believe the humans aren't trying to conquer the galaxy. They're trying to free it. Free it from what? From us, sir. From the Council's control. On a liberated world called Kepler Prime, Dr. Amanda Brooks was making an amazing discovery. She had been studying the Council's historical records, and what she found changed everything. Jake, you need to see this, she called to Admiral Jake Morrison, who had been promoted after his escape from the Council station. Jake looked at the data on Amanda's computer screen. What am I looking at? The real history of the galaxy. The Council has been lying for thousands of years. The devourers they told us about, the species that almost destroyed the galaxy, that was them. The Council were the monsters. Amanda brought up more files. Look at this. 1,000 years ago, the Council conquered over half the galaxy. They enslaved entire species and forced them to work in terrible conditions. The only thing that stopped them was a rebellion by their own people. So they rewrote history to make themselves look like the good guys, Jake said. Exactly. And they've been using fear to control everyone ever since. When they saw humans, they were afraid we would do to them what they did to others. Jake understood. Now, they weren't trying to protect the galaxy from us, they were trying to protect themselves. 2 weeks later, the Free Worlds Alliance fleet gathered at the edge of the Council home system. Patricia Hayes commanded over 3,000 ships from dozens of different species. It was the largest fleet ever assembled against the Council. All ships, this is Admiral Hayes, she spoke into her communicator. Today we end the Council's reign of fear. Today we give the galaxy back to its people. The battle for the Council homeworld was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The Council had built massive defense stations around their planet, each one capable of destroying entire fleets. But the Alliance had something the Council didn't understand. Unity. Ships from different species worked together like they had been, fighting side by side for years. Human tactics mixed with alien technology created combinations that the Council couldn't predict. Captain Danny Roberts, now commanding a ship built with both human and alien technology, led his squadron through the Council's defense grid. Remember, we're not here to destroy everything. We're here to free people. The human ships moved like wolves hunting in a pack, while their alien allies provided covering fire and support. Together they broke through defenses that had protected the Council for 1,000 years. On the Council flagship, Chancellor Krixtal made his final stand. His ship was surrounded by Alliance vessels, and his crew was surrendering one by one. This is Admiral Morrison of the Alliance fleet, Jake's voice came through the communicator. Chancellor Krixtal, you are defeated. Surrender now and your people will be treated fairly. Krixtal looked around his empty bridge. All his officers had abandoned him. You don't understand, human. Without the Council, the galaxy will fall into chaos. Maybe, Jake replied. But that's better than living under your fear. The battle ended not with a great explosion, but with the Council fleet laying down their weapons. Most of the alien crews were tired of fighting and wanted to go home to their families. On the Council homeworld, Patricia Hayes stood in the great assembly hall where the Council had ruled for thousands of years. Representatives from hundreds of worlds were gathered to create a new government. We will not make the same mistakes as the Council, Patricia told the crowd. No single species will rule over others. No world will be forced to obey laws they had no part in making. An alien that looked like a walking tree raised one of its branch-like arms. What guarantee do we have that humans won't become the new Council? Patricia smiled. Because that's not who we are. Humans don't want to rule the galaxy. We want to explore it. We want to learn from it, and we want to protect it from anyone who tries to control it through fear. Tony Wilson, now the first Secretary General of the Free Worlds Alliance, stepped forward. The new Galactic Charter guarantees freedom for all species. No world can be attacked for being different. No species can be enslaved or controlled. 6 months later, Jake Morrison stood on the observation deck of the first human colony ship in another galaxy. Children from dozens of different species played together in the ship's gardens, while their parents worked side by side to build a new world. Amanda Brooks joined him at the window. "Do you think we did the right thing?" Jake watched a human child teaching an alien child how to play catch. The council was right about one thing. Humans are dangerous. We're dangerous to anyone who tries to hurt innocent people. And what about the future? Jake smiled as he watched the children play. The future belongs to them. Human, alien, it doesn't matter. As long as they're free to choose their own path, the galaxy will be fine. Lisa Carter appeared beside them, carrying a report. "Jake, we're getting messages from other galaxies. Some of them are asking for help against their own councils and empires." Jake looked out at the stars, each one representing countless worlds and billions of people who might need help. "What do you think?" Lisa asked. Jake thought about all the battles they had fought, all the friends they had lost, and all the people they had saved. Humans had been called monsters by those who feared them, but they had chosen to be heroes instead. "Set course for the next galaxy," he said. "The universe is a big place, and there's a lot of work to do." The ship turned toward the distant stars, carrying hope to places that had forgotten what freedom looked like. Behind them, the Milky Way galaxy was finally at peace, protected by an alliance of species that had learned to work together instead of fighting each other. The Council had been right to fear humans, but they had been wrong about why. Humans weren't dangerous because they wanted to destroy everything. They were dangerous because they refused to let anyone else destroy anything either, and that made all the difference in the universe.